Trinity Ray, I see you.
We don't usually begin by dropping the mic, but
We will drop the mic.
That was powerful. There was like no delay.
I know, I think you guys are big there. I'm going in the middle.
Okay.
It's a nice area to take pictures.
Do you guys have us?
cool. Welcome, thank you so much for coming to hear us this morning. Welcome to Artists in April. I'm Andrea Wilson. I'm the founder and the director of the Iowa Writers House. We are a public literary organization that serves all writers located in the state of Iowa, a state known regionally and globally for literacy and literature, and in the only UNESCO city of literature in the United States.
And I am Mallory Hellman. I'm the director of the Iowa Youth Writing Project, which is an organization that sets out to inspire, educate, and empower Iowa's youth through the power of writing and creative expression. In talking about our mission, we wanted to kind of start with a bit of a joint mission, something that we both do, which is to provide Iowa writers of every age, background, and level of experience an appreciative community in which to develop their work. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about how each of our organizations sets about doing that.
The Iowa Writers House was founded to fulfill a specific need. This is an incredible literary community, and I think no one can sort of argue the fact that we have a history, a legacy, and again, we're known all over the world. But there was an opportunity to create a healthier ecosystem here. There was not a public literary organization, which is surprising. There are organizations in Minneapolis, in Boston, in Seattle, in cities that don't have this UNESCO designation, and also places that don't have this kind of literary legacy. We train and teach the best writers in the world, and then essentially we buy them a one-way ticket to leave, because there aren't teaching opportunities, or weren't before we were founded. We founded the Iowa Writers House to provide an opportunity for many of those graduate students who are coming out of this amazing university here and all across the state, our great small colleges and universities who teach these writers, to come to the Iowa Writers House and teach workshops and seminars and let the public be part. Also, some of the most famous published writers in the country have come through Iowa at one point or another. Many of them went to the grad programs here, and they want to come back and give to the community that helped raise them up. They come back for readings in Prairie Lights, they're coming back to visit their professors. So now that we have this organization, while they're here, they're stopping by for a weekend workshop and to give back to the public and let the public be part of that amazing literary energy that this city has. Our region is also full of writers. Just as actors go to LA, as musicians go to Austin, writers flock here. And many of them were coming here, knocking at our door and saying, how can we be part of this thing? But there wasn't an on-ramp. And so our motto, our mantra is an open door to the literary community. We are essentially the organization that welcomes those people in and says, please, if you're local and you are already living here, if you're from across Iowa, come be part of our organization. And if you are one of those, and these do exist, who are moving here from across the country to be part of this amazing energy for writers, come, join us, and we'd be happy to welcome you on behalf of this city, the community, and the state.
So, like the Iowa Writers House, the Iowa Youth Writing Project arose out of a perception of need. In 2010, a small group of Iowa Writers Workshop graduates wanted to address and do something about the disparity they perceived between that rich literary programming that Andrea was just talking about, everything that makes us a UNESCO City of World Literature, and that which was being offered to K-12 youth, especially for free. So much of the writing programming here in Iowa City and in the state at large is centered around universities, is centered around downtown business areas, is centered around the professional publishing trade, right? And we wanted to change that by making more free writing programming available to kids. And the first group of people who represented the Iowa Youth Writing Project to do that went into a classroom, one school, and decided, hey, what if we do some of the creative writing exercises that were given to us in our education with these kids to inspire them to express themselves creatively. And it worked. And that's still our motto. We walk into classrooms not with the desire to correct students' grammar, not with the desire to have them write the perfect college essay necessarily, but simply to get them excited about the art of expression. And one way we do that as well is by offering them a little bit of a flavor of what it's like to be a writer in Iowa, which is a qualitatively unique thing. At the end of every semester, in each of our 13 sites, schools and community centers where we have weekly workshops, we publish students' work in professionally designed anthologies. These are little chapbooks, a lot like the chapbooks that practicing adult poets, you may know, get published and distribute around. They can give them to their families, they can give them to their friends. We also have an annual reading at Prairie Lights, where K through 12 students pack the house and read at the same podium as the likes of Jonathan Franzen. Right? Finally, every year we have a junior high writing conference that allows middle school students from Iowa City and now Cedar Rapids to experience a writing conference in its entirety. They go to panels, they have a keynote speaker, they have workshops, and at the end of the day they have an open mic. So we try to confer some of that heavy literary legitimacy of Iowa City and Iowa at large onto the youth we work with. Scale and impact.
Scale and impact. This is a really exciting time for both of our organizations. The Iowa Writers House in March celebrated its 1-year anniversary. It seems like only yesterday, but it was last August that I first pitched at 1 Million Cups in Cedar Rapids. Since then, we've accomplished quite a bit. In our first year, we've had over 1,000 writers sign up to be part of our organization and to learn more about our events and what's happening in this world. And those writers are not just from Iowa, they're from across the nation because, again, the reputation that this community and this region has extends well beyond the boundaries of our state. We've actually given over 30 literary events in the last year, workshops, seminars, Hope Edelman, Sarah Perneas, Michelle Morano, Anna Barker. These are incredible pillars of both this community and published writers who've gone on and left the community and moved on, who are coming back and contributing to this world. And most of all, we're centralizing on the idea that every writer that we touch, that every person that we help bring the story out of them and share with the community, we're helping to contribute to a better literary community, a better community at large, and a better world.
The IYWP is also in an exciting place. When Andrea and I were talking about making this presentation, we were both like, ooh, we should talk about how we're in exciting places. Because we are. And the IYWP is also a young organization. We're in our 6th academic year of existence. We measure things in the fall to spring calendar rather than the full year one. But here we are in our 6th year of existence, and we've just experienced a couple of years of radically huge growth. So, since August 2015, the Iowa Youth Writing Project has engaged 443 K-12 students in 13 weekly programs. And as I mentioned before, those 13 programs are schools and community centers, everything from Horace Mann Elementary, around the corner right here, to the John McDonald Residential Treatment Center, which is a live-in rehabilitation center for female-identified youth ages 13 to 17 who have suffered trauma, neglect, and abuse within the foster care system, and that's all the way out in Monticello. So we've really been expanding our reach recently. We've hosted 25 special events this year alone. We've hosted workshops in 6 Iowa counties and worked with 184 volunteers. That's our roster of active volunteers for the year. And 20 interns, the vast majority of whom are University of Iowa undergraduates, to spend a total of 2,789 hours with our kids. So that's since August 15th of 2015, we've logged almost 2,800 volunteer hours with kids, which is something that we are hugely, hugely proud of. We've hosted workshops this year featuring Andrea Gibson, the spoken word artist, picture book artist Rosemary Wells, Saul Williams this past weekend, Sarah Paretsky, Jenny Zhang, and Michelle Foucault. This year we also did something that we've never done before, which is have an interstate digital partnership. 2 English classes from Tate High School here in Iowa City partnered with a sister school we chose in Hammond, Indiana, Hammond High School, which has students who come from a similar background and level of experience as the students at Tate. And they collaborated to make podcasts, make video blogs, make Twitter stories, and compare them and critique them with one another. So that's something we're hoping to grow in the future.
And lastly, what's next? As excited as we are about the past year, we're even more excited about the future. In the next year, we plan to do another 30 literary events, but more importantly are the new programs that we have on the horizon. We've just launched our scholarship program, and this is something that I'm really proud of, because with accessibility at the root of everything that we're doing, we also believe that we need to provide opportunities for people who wouldn't always be able to take these workshops. So our March workshop was with Sabata Mako. He was a visiting resident in 2014 for that IWP. He came back from South Africa on book tour and stopped by for a weekend to teach a workshop. And we were able to provide scholarships through the Dream Center for young people, for students, high school students, who wouldn't normally be able to not only participate in these workshops financially, but also maybe wouldn't have known about the opportunity to come and learn from an African-American writer who his entire voice is about being a black man growing up in apartheid. I can't tell you how meaningful it was to give that workshop and watch those students sit beside Maggie Conroy, the wife of Frank Conroy, who was one of the most famous directors of the Iowa Writers Workshop. So our scholarship program is something that we're looking to the community to help support. Essentially, every workshop, we are looking for people who would like to sponsor individual students or people in need who could not otherwise attend these. Beyond that, we're working on outreach in general, partner organizations, working with the Iowa Youth Writing Project, working with other regional literary organizations, and we're also looking to work with the Center for the Book in Des Moines on creating the first Iowa Book Prize. So those are some great new exciting things that we have going on.
What's next for the IYWP? Well, first and foremost, we're looking to continue and expand those digital partnerships that I was just mentioning so that we have more sister schools, brother schools, human sibling schools all around the country where students here in Iowa can connect with kids who might have had similar experiences to them, with kids who might have had completely disparate experiences from them around the country over their enjoyment of writing and their practice of writing. So we're hoping to expand that. We're hoping also to expand the engagements that we have with incarcerated youth and youth who might be homeless or transient in the moment. Right now, as I mentioned, we work at the John McDonald Residential Treatment Facility, but all the rest of the community centers we work with are explicitly for students with homes, students in schools, so we're looking to expand to serve more incarcerated populations. We're also looking, within the next year, to establish a council of K through 12 teachers here in Iowa City and in Cedar Rapids, whom we consult about the types of workshops that we should be doing, about what needs they have in the classroom, and how we can better address them as people who kind of come in obliquely to the education system. Finally, we're hoping to train our volunteers a little bit more than we have been. Right now, our volunteers have general training, and this year we initiated a series of monthly specific trainings. We're hoping to get the money to be able to pay professionals to come and do monthly brown bag lunches with our volunteers on topics like bridging demographic gaps between you and the students you work with, or how to create a lesson plan that incorporates motion, anything as specific as that. So we're hoping that the next year brings good things for us.
This has been an amazing year for us. We're so proud to speak with you today. Mallory and I are really proud to be part of this literary community, but also this community at large. So we're here and excited to answer your questions.
Yeah.